guys, welcome back to the Spoken Podcast. I believe we're episode 8 now. We're going to change it up a bit today. I am joined by Arthur.
Hello.
From the Barber Academy, our business development manager, who most of you would have seen on our socials. We're going to change it up a bit in case you're wondering why I'm in this chair. So Arthur's going to be asking the questions today. We'll still do our 5 favorite songs. But yeah, Arthur's going to lead the podcast this time. So all the pressure's on you, mate.
That's going to be fun.
So I can sit back, I can enjoy my tea, I can just absorb these lovely questions which Arthur will ask. So,
well, first, your favorite songs. 5 of them.
All right. So I went for R&B for my first one because I was like, I know Arthur will choose that. So I've gone Pony by Genuine, which is a classic. But then I was like, I always do R&B. So I've gone for like my Clubland classics. So I used to listen to this like when I was in high school back in Wales. So I've gone Save Me by Darren Styles, Pretty Green Eyes by Ultrabeat, Fading Like a Flower by Roxette, and Now You're Gone by Bass Freakers. Do you know any of them?
I don't think I know that.
I was like, I wonder if you would actually know any of those songs. I reckon if you listen to them, you'd be like, I've heard that shit before. So,
probably from my parents or something.
Yeah. No, it's not that old, mate. Jeez. They're all like 90s. You're making me feel old now. Go on. What's yours? Let's hear them. Or do you know them off by heart?
Well, I'm more of a moment song type guy. So the moment I'd say Drake, Headlines, Island Boys, of course.
Island Boys.
My 4-year-old loves that.
So do we.
Then what do I have? I have Invincible from Pop Smoke, No Romeo, No Juliet from 50 Cent, and another one from Drake, Best I Ever Had.
Oh, that's a song.
Yeah, so
that's a great song.
I just need high energy songs, you know? Keep that mood up.
Because you're a bit busy.
Yeah. But yeah, let's get into it. So,
also, I think we should say, I have no idea what you're about to ask me.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Well, I've got a couple
You kind of have a rough idea?
I've got a few questions, but I know we're going to go off topic quite a bit, so...
We tend to talk shit together, don't we?
So, yeah. So, my first question would be, obviously, you've talked about how the Academy Elysian came about with your mum, but why yourself? Why did you choose education, and what do you get from it?
Oof. All right. So, why did I choose education? So basically, I was working for Body Science.
Yeah.
When I was 20, I think it was, I was working in their retail shop in Miami. So I always had that kind of background with fitness. I was a qualified PT. Not that you'd know anymore.
Believe it or not.
I know. When you look at like Jack when he comes in here compared to what I looked like, it's a bit of a difference. But yeah, so I was in kind of that fitness industry. I absolutely loved it and still do, even though I love chocolate way too much now. But so kind of I was doing that, was a little bit stumped as to what I do next because I was just working in the shop. And then my mum, Dee, who is co-owner, she just said to me randomly that there was a position going in the college which she worked at and was kind of like, it's a sports and rec trainer. It's 3 days a week. And I was like, well, I'm not going to give up full-time work for 3 days a week. And she goes, oh, well, if you qualified in training and assessment, then it pays this much, which was at the time I was on like minimum wage and it was double what I was on for 3 days a week. So I was like, no brainer, 100%. I'll get into education for the money side of it. So yeah, went into that. I taught 3 days a week it was basically 2 days teaching and then 1 day admin. And yeah, I absolutely loved it. It was amazing. I was just teaching purely international students. So it was good because my accent was a lot stronger back then. So I think they were kind of like, oh, this is cool. This guy isn't from Australia either. So I kind of had that bit of a rapport with them. But yeah, kind of got chucked in the deep end. And then literally after 2 weeks, they were like, oh, you're going to be teaching full time now. here if you want it. And I was like, more money, 100%. I need a new car. So yeah, that was kind of the reason why I got into education, purely because I was like, I was in kind of the industry which I was teaching in already. I didn't really understand the education industry. I was only 20 at the time, so I was kind of like, it'll be cool. And yeah, I soon learned the hard way that it wasn't cool.
Look at this little dude over there.
I know, we've also got Bronx, Arthur's boy, looking at us out here as well, with his nose pushed up against the glass. I wish we could change the cameras around. The island boy. So yeah, that was basically why I got into education.
So obviously, I guess responses at the time it was the money, but now building a business, you know, the struggles of a business owner, it's not always been like, it's not about the money anymore.
Yeah, those were the good days of education.
So what do you get now from education?
Yeah, I mean, going as to what you said, it was about money back then. So basically the owners of the college we were working at were basically like multi-millionaires. We never seen them. I'd only heard of them. If I walked past them, they wouldn't have a clue who I was apart from my mum. And yeah, they were telling me I was going to Vegas the next year for a bit of a trip to the States. And one of the owners was like, I own a house in Vegas. And I was like, oh yeah, that's cool. Thinking like, yeah, whatever. And she was like, oh yeah, it's a 5-bedroom mansion overlooking the Strip in Vegas. And I'm like, how much money do these guys have? I'm like, this is ridiculous. So yeah, that was my kind of thing about education. And I was always like, I'd love to own an RTO. This would be me. Like, I'll be just balling. This will be sick. So yeah, as you well know, that is not the case anymore. So there were a lot of their funding was through international students and stuff like that. So yeah, it was, I mean, why we do it now. So as you know what my mum is like, and as she's been on the podcast, the whole reason why we do education is because purely we want to give these students the best chance to get into these industries. So obviously the vast amount of industries which we cover in the colleges, we basically just want to be able to provide them with as much information and knowledge as possible. So when they go out into the industry, they are kind of industry experts already. They're being taught by industry experts. We're giving them the information which is far superior to what anybody else is doing. And that's not me bragging. I think we can be quite confident in saying what we're doing. So yeah, it's basically to, I mean, Mum says it all the time, there is nothing better for us to hear as owners when, and you get the feedback a lot as well, obviously being in our marketing, that somebody's gone into a shop or a salon or whatnot and they're like, wow, they're amazing. Like, are not only so skilled, just like really nice people. And again, like what Mum was saying, they're all our babies and stuff like that. But it is really nice to hear that. It's kind of like we're speaking to some of these business owners own multiple chains of salons, and they're going, literally the best staff we've ever had have come through this college. So for us, that is purely what we do it for. And again, stupid business mindset, but I can sleep at night knowing any of our students who are qualified working in the industry. I can go, yeah, well, they're there. So
yeah, 100%. And exactly what your mum said, they're my babies. I was talking to a student a couple of days ago, and that's what I said to them. I said, with us, you walk in and you're just in the family forever. Like, absolutely. If you open a shop, if you in 10 years you want to do something, like, we always back it up. And so that's what I love about the vision. And yeah, so
it was your post the other day, wasn't it, with the class? Like when you said our family is growing.
Yeah.
And it's like, I didn't tell Arthur to say that. But it is our family. Like, it's like, it's crazy to think all of our students, like, and we say it all the time, I'd go out for a drink with them.
Yeah.
Any one of them, which is very rare, because normally in education, it's like you always get certain groups. But honestly, I can say, like, hand on heart, the worst.
Maybe not Kingy though.
Nah, not Kingy. No, I have been out on the piss with Kingy and it was terrible. So, because he just doesn't get drunk and he can drink like I'm drinking tea, just like that. So, yeah, good old Kingy. He's gonna be like, oh, they did a shout out for me now.
He's gonna want to come on the next one.
He wants to come on, but he wants to be. He was like, oh, let me get more ahead of the game, and then I want to come on. I'm like,
fair enough.
Tell us about your Google me, man.
I had another question. At the start I was gonna ask what's your end goal, but what's your 5-year goal with this whole Academy Elysian?
Yeah, it's that's a tough question because you know exactly what I think like.
Yeah. But people need to know.
I know. So all right, 5 years. 5 years is a long time.
Where do you see us in 5 years?
I see us being Australia-wide, definitely. I can see us being in every single state. And again, I can see us being basically what my ideal thing. If anybody wants to study hair or barbering in Australia, there's only one option. That's what I want, because I know full well we can help the industry out so much with the people who we know, who we're working with, like Area, for example, like the barbers are getting that, and then Sharon with the hairdressers. Like that's just like the knowledge they're getting off these people are amazing. So yeah, I mean, 5 years. All right. So 5 years, I would love us to be Australia-wide. Yeah, probably a campus in each state. And then that's covering barbering and hair, I'd say. New Zealand, maybe. I'd like to then branch out to New Zealand or something like that. I'd love to have our online content worldwide. Like that would be a little bit of a thing for me, but utilize like the Area voice and stuff like that, and then just make it like the number one online thing, kind of
associated with metaverse.
Exactly, yeah. So this is another thing as well. So there's stuff that we're working on now, which in 5 years' time, who knows, we may not even be teaching face-to-face in 5 years' time, because that may be face-to-face may be gone, which is crazy to think about. But if you would have asked me 5 years ago that we'd have an online system, I would have laughed in your face. So yeah, hopefully we're all just NFTs, and then
we'll just keep in touch with what's happening
100%.
and just adapt.
100%. I'll just be sending NFTs to you. You'll be sending them back, going, oh, look what I just bought today. So yeah, it's 5 years is a long time. Like when you think about it, it's crazy. Like what I want to do in 5 weeks compared to what I want to do in 5 years is like, which is, again, I suppose that can come across as being greedy, but it's not me being greedy. It's just, I know what we do it really well. And I want to showcase that to everyone, because we've been very thinking about, oh yeah, we'll just target the Gold Coast and stuff like that. And I mean, you give me the feedback all the time. It's like when you listen to what people are saying in Brisbane and they're like, oh my God, this was so much better than where I studied before and stuff like that. Then it's like, well, yeah, maybe we need to take this Australia-wide. You know what I mean? So
yeah, and I mean, 5 years is a long time if you look at it. I think I've joined 18 months ago or something like that. And if you look at everything that's happened since,
it's crazy.
So yeah, we've got already another location. We're working on another, which was Brisbane. Now we're working on another location. So it happens really quickly. So,
and you know all about that. It was crazy. I think we had 2 students when you first started. Like I think I said that in Mum's podcast or Ruby's maybe. Like that's nuts. I remember cutting your hair and we were like Danny was one of the students.
Yeah.
I think Danny was even there. And yeah, it's crazy to think how far we've grown. But I mean, again, I said it on Mum's podcast, our foundations have always been there. It was always the marketing and growing the business, which was why you were so helpful coming on, because we needed somebody to go, well, you need to show people what you're doing, because we never did it. I thought, oh yeah, we'd just post a picture on Instagram and stuff like that. But as you know, that's not what works.
Yeah.
So
unfortunately, in this world, it's
I know.
all visual, and
I remember Arthur doing his first reel, and I'm like, mate, this won't work. This is shit. What are you doing? And now that's all we do. Everything is done for the reels. So yeah, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But no, the marketing side of it's been unreal, as I tell you all the time as well. It's been good to have someone who isn't in the industry. Now, in the industry, I mean like education as well as hair. Because it's good to have somebody's Odyssey, your real estate background is just like the way that you look at marketing is prestige. You know what I mean? It's like top of the range marketing. So it's great. And yeah, I think we market better than anyone, to be honest. Like what you said yesterday, how good does our Instagram look when you go on our profile? You know what I mean? I look at it all the time. So
yeah, and at the end of the day, it's just what I love about it is that it's literally just a translation of what it actually is, because what you see is actually what you get.
Exactly.
So, and yeah, I think that's where we did well, and that's where we're going to keep going.
Exactly. The rocket emoji comes up now. Pete puts the rocket emoji on the screen. Yeah. That's my favorite emoji at the moment. I'm smashing it. All right, next. What's next?
I have a cool other question for you that's going to make you think a bit.
Did you say cool? Cool question.
Yeah. If you could spend 10 minutes with anyone, dead or alive, who would it be and why, of course?
That's crazy. That's a tough question.
It can be anything, you know.
I know, that's why it's tough.
It can be a family member just for emotional value. It can be someone for business value.
I know.
Can be Mbappe because he's probably the coolest guy in the world.
Not really. Who would I'm trying to think. 10 minutes. I don't know. Do you know at the moment probably like I know you know the podcasts I listen to, but the Diary of a CEO, like Stephen, I would probably love to.
When I wrote that question, I thought you were going to say that.
Answer? Yeah, no. I was gonna say like my family and stuff like that back home, but
yeah, but you can do that anyway. I mean,
yeah. So yeah, I mean, 10 minutes with him would be pretty cool. I think I'd pick his brain.
Yeah, there'll be probably a lot of value in that.
Yeah, I think I could. It would be tough for me to hear some of his constructive feedback, I think, because I think some of it would be like, "You've been doing that all wrong," and I'm like, "Ah!" But he's awesome. I'm loving his stuff at the moment. He's really cool, and the guests that he's getting on and stuff like that are pretty cool.
Yeah, no, he's unreal. He's pretty young too, isn't he?
Yeah, really young. I think he's mid to late 20s. I think. I know, but he's cool. He's kind of somebody who I see in business and kind of I like his values.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
That one time he talked about all the 1%.
Yeah.
That reminded me of you, how you are with the business, is that every single thing, every little 1% just make greatness, really.
Yeah.
So,
which again, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, because then I see some businesses who go, like, I don't want a bar of it kind of thing, you know what I mean? So it's it's an interesting one. But no, he would probably be the one I'd sit down with, and 10 minutes would never be long enough, but because I talk like this.
Yeah, so but probably be good for the mindset. And
it would be great. I think he'd knock me down a couple of pegs, I think.
Well, but I think he'd just be positive and helpful.
He'd just be like, go online, man. He'd be like, why are you teaching face to face? Like, why are you paying so much for a lease? That's what for a lease, not a lease, by the way. At least our trainer's like, what? How does Steven know about me? So yeah, that would probably be the one which I'd love that. That would be awesome. Can you make that happen?
Maybe, who knows? I feel like Owen posted a story of him and he watched it the other day. So,
yeah, he watched one of his stories.
So, I'm just relying on Owen to,
we'll have to
bring him here.
We'll have to tag him in this YouTube
video. Yeah, we'll
video.
have to.
I know. Yeah, it would be very interesting to see his thoughts on the. Like, I love hearing what other people think about our business. I know I say that to you all the time. Like, my brother Rob, who's in education, like, he's and got nothing to do with hair, but he's just like, how cool is that? Like, I know you posted on the bus stop one that you did.
Yeah.
And he's like, what the hell? He's like, that's so cool. He was like, I wasn't too sure whether it was an actual bus stop or not. Which is awesome. It's just really good feedback, and it's nice to see that we're changing the game.
Which actually was.
It was.
Cost us 20 grand.
Yeah.
To do billboard advertising.
I had to replace a bus stop, take the video, and then change it over.
Yeah. So talking about growth and all that, what would you say drives you every morning?
It's changed. So I would say, if you would have asked me this 5 years ago, money, 100%. Like, money would 100% be the reason why. And I think it was because I was very immature. I still am a little bit immature, but I think I've grown up a little bit more now. I'm 32 now, you know. But I know it's a tricky one. I mean, family, 100%. Like, our business is family. Like, we classify everyone here as our family. So yeah, I see it as, if I can grow this company, then I can provide more for the family, whether that is financially, like jobs or whatever. Like, I would love my whole family to be working here. Like, that would be the thing. If we went Australia wide and I could have everyone working, and although, geez, some of them would piss me off, but I just think it'd be a really cool concept. Like, when we went to Sydney and we seen like the Hair and Beauty Kingdom, like, they're all family there, and I was like, this is so cool. But yeah, there would be some
until you have to cut costs.
Like, exact. No, that would be the best part about it. You're fired. No, I think family is my massive motivator. Like, it's and then like, the money comes with it then, doesn't it?
Exactly. I think, if you do the right thing, in any industry, if you do the right thing and you keep doing it, and you're just consistent, the money will come. Yeah,
money is the motivator.
It's always the back of your head. It has to be, if you want to do something good. But I think you put money in the back of your head, and then at first you just put whatever you do is service, I think. So you just put that first, and
because it used to just be, I want to make $1 million. Like, I want $1 million in my bank account. Yeah, that's what it used to be.
But now $1 million is not even.
But what would it
much
do?
Anymore?
Exactly.
Anyway,
like, I've been talking to Arthur obviously about buying houses and whatnot. We literally just said it before we came on, didn't we? So it's like, what would that do? A nice deposit.
Yeah.
Still be paying probably another $1 million in a mortgage for somewhere which we would like. Although if you ask Lani, we'd be paying another $4 million on a mortgage. So it's a tricky one. I always thought when I was younger, I was like, I'll have like sick cars and stuff like that. And I've had nice cars, and was I happy? Nah. Like, it was great at the time, but I get so bored of them. And I mean, we always talk about cars and stuff like that, but I think family is the massive one. Obviously, having mum as my business partner, like, I see how hard she works. And obviously, why we do it is so she can retire, which will never happen.
Yeah, as you know, she's ready for that.
She's not. But that's the goal for her to, like, that's why we moved to Australia, for her to be a grandmother and live the dream. So, if I can make that happen, then that would be a massive tick. But again, it wouldn't be kind of the end of the road kind of thing.
Yeah, but I think she'd actually miss it. She would. You can see how she thrive in giving people knowledge and just being around people.
And that's the one. She likes being around people. Like, it's one where I work really well on my own as well. Like, I can sit in a room and just be like, I'm working. Like, I'm just flat out working. Whereas she can do that, but if there's somebody there like Lani or something like that next to her, she'll be like, oh yeah, this is amazing, because they can just chat shit. So
she's
anyway.
So I've got a last question, which I actually didn't know how to write it properly. But
Is this you asking for a pay rise?
no. Now
That you've said it, let's put it in. Oh, this spillage. Good work.
So I know you, and you're a bit like me on the emotion side. I think part of a business working with a lot of men as barbers.
Careful. Careful.
And the modern man evolving where, the modern man is more emotional or is allowed to be more emotional.
Yeah.
How could we bring that to the course? Like, is there any plan to bring more emotion awareness or?
Yeah, so we've connected with Prue, who does a lot of like mental health side of things, who I know it's something we've been working on since you started to put that into the course, because obviously that's how we met when I was cutting your hair, obviously. So yeah, that we've got a couple of things lined up for the year. One thing which I've literally just signed off on it now to introduce, is mental health weeks. So there's a week in April where we will have mental health training from Prue as staff on a Monday, and then the rest of the week will be paid leave. So nobody will work. Lani and myself can just look after Lani and myself can just look after the phones and stuff like that and just make sure everything's running. But students and staff just have like a mental health week, which is like you can do whatever you want, but just like
be cool to do,
zone out.
To have some like workshops to do at home, like, I don't know, meditation, and stuff like that for people to do it if they want to.
Absolutely. So I know Prue's got like a couple of things, like not so much tests, but like quizzes and stuff like that to take home, because obviously everyone's different. So there'll be stuff with staff and then students and whatnot as well. So there'll be some really cool stuff happening. I know Area have got a lot of stuff on their network as well, which every student will have access to. The full timers, so that'll be really cool as well, like the breath work and stuff like that. So again, stuff which I'm starting to really get into at the moment, because as you know what my head's like, so I know I speak to Kieran about it a lot as well, which is really good. So just starting to get my mindset into that stuff, because I think it'll benefit everybody in the end. If I come in here being a miserable old bastard like I have been in the past,
you make us sound really good.
me. But mine's like, it may not be even work related. It might just be like somebody cut me off or something like that, and then I'll come here and I'll be in a shit mood. So, and that's what happens in the industry. So yeah, if we can do as many things as possible to kind of help that, I definitely want to work with a lot more charities and stuff like that this year, like we've been talking about for a while as well. So yeah. Did that answer it?
Yeah, it did. It did pretty good. But yeah, that's the thing. Like when we had a chat to Owen and Lee from Area the other day, we were talking about all this fine line with mental health and all that. But I think when you're a barber or anyone really, it's not just about having the deep conversation. It's just about picking someone's energy and just lifting it up.
Yeah,
it doesn't have to. You don't have to go deep into someone's issues if they don't want to talk about it.
Yeah,
you can just lift up their energy however you want.
Exactly.
It's my child screaming over there.
I wonder if you could even hear her on the mic.
He's trying to lift up the energy there.
It's good, but it's like, yeah, I know what you mean. It's because I also don't want to overstep the marker as well, because mental health is very serious side of it. And
exactly.
I think that's where Prue is really good, because I was like, oh, we should do mental health first aid training and stuff like that. And she's like, nah, because then that will swamp everyone and that'll be too full on for them. It's like, let me come in, have a chat and stuff like this, and we can just indicate this, like you said, when you pick up on it and it's like, oh, right, okay, right, now I understand. How can you deal with that? And then how can you process that yourself? Because that's what I was saying to Ruby. It's like, I take a lot of shit on board because obviously people go, oh, just gonna tell him everything, which I don't know why, but maybe I have that thing to people.
Too approachable,
maybe? Yeah, I know. But I don't mind it. It's just I don't cope well with it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I take that home and then I'll be like, shit, should I have done something? That goes back to what happened with my friend and stuff like that in many, many moons ago. Which hopefully never happens again. But that is kind of like the way I look at it. I'm like, oh shit, should I have said something then? Should I have done this? So sometimes I do go over the top. It's like I'll message someone going like, oh, you're right. Like, I know that's a bit of an indicator for me when you did this, this, and this. But then sometimes they won't message back, right? And I'll go to Lani and I'm like, I reached out to them and they didn't even have the decency to message back to me. But then in my head, I'm thinking, I remember being in that space and the last thing I wanted to do was message somebody back. So it's like, again, it's just dealing with that side of it. And yeah, I think Prue will be awesome. Like Prue's going to come on here because the podcast will be unreal. So yeah, it's it'll be really cool. It'll be awesome. We've got some really cool stuff planned. Like I already think what we offer in the courses, like I said earlier, is really cool. So if we can all add something like that as well. Yeah, just a massive advantage.
Because it's all, we're not trying to do psychology, obviously.
No, exactly.
But yeah, it's just bringing more awareness and just making sure people walk out feeling better.
Absolutely.
However they feel, it's just everyone when you talk to, you want them to just feel good after a conversation. So
absolutely. And again, that comes from mum. Like her thing is, if you asked her what her goal would be, I want everybody to have a smile on their face.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, so yeah, if we can... it's maybe an unrealistic goal, but if we can do something like that and make education as fun as possible, like what I said to our last group, it's like, this is why our campus looks like this, because we don't want it to be a school. Like we want it to be a place where people go, oh, I got school today. Like I've got to go to the college today. Yes, not like, oh, I got to go to college today. Like I remember doing that when I was going to college. I was like, I ain't going today. Like I want them to be like, oh, I want to come extra. Like I want to be there more.
Well,
so,
Noah is a perfect example for that. When he was doing the course, he hated everything, young kid, just doing his thing.
Yep.
And yeah, he said to me one day, cutting my hair, I always look forward to class because I just love being here.
Yeah, which is awesome.
We love to hear that. It's just that family aspect. It's just that comfort of being in their second home. So.
Absolutely. And that's the plan. You know what mum's like. She is literally a mum to everyone. So, especially Noah. So yeah, it's awesome.
That's why we've got students that haven't graduated for about 24 years now.
Yeah, I know, because they just love the place. They cost me a fortune and they just stay all the time, which is funny. But yeah, that's good times.
Well, that's good. Right? Yeah, you did pretty good.
Thanks, man.
We'll wrap it up because
we'll wrap it up because people will be like, "You want me to edit a 4-hour-long podcast again?" So, no.
So yeah, the goal of today was just to, I guess, show off a bit more of what we do behind the scene, the vision, who we are. So, hope that helped.
That's awesome. Thanks for having me.
No worries.
Cheers, guys. Thank you for listening. And yeah, look forward to seeing what future podcasters we have on.